Okay, let's get started. This is Masterclass 2 in this weekly series that I am doing to help you move from burnt out and stuck to living a life that feels purposeful, full of joy and freedom. So today we're going to talk about how you can basically achieve any goal. And let's call it dreams. I want it to be bigger than goals. I want to talk about things that you dream or fantasize about doing or having that you think that you can't. So I'm just going to share my screen and we can get going. Okay. So when we talk about the secret to accomplishing our goals, the first thing that I want to share with you is this really interesting fact from Timothy Ferriss. And he wrote a book that I absolutely love called The 4-Hour Work Week. And in it, he shares this, that 99% of people in the world are convinced that they are incapable of achieving great things. And so they aim for mediocre. And so this is really interesting, right? Because what I want to know when I read this fact is, what is it that this 1% are doing that most of us aren't? What do they have? How are they achieving their wildest dreams? And the rest of us are just aiming for mediocre. So when I ask people this question, when I talk about it, when I read about it, the answers that people come up with are these people that are really successful. So think of people like Oprah or Bill Gates. You get the idea. The idea or the answers that I get are they have maybe more time. They had time to spend. They had money to spend. But the number one thing that I think we all believe about these really successful people is that they have some unique skill or talent that we don't have, right? And so, in other words, it's not available to me, right? I cannot interview people the way Oprah can, or I do not have like the technical brain that Bill Gates has. So we always see it as kind of outside of ourselves, as something that's not available to us because we don't have talent XYZ. And so what I want to share with you today, that this is a myth. Okay, you may not have the exact same talents and skills as some of these successful people that I've shared, but successful people like Oprah and Bill Gates know that this wasn't the key to their success, right? This was not the answer to them achieving their dreams. They know that what that entailed and what was required was they needed to be able to embrace failure, right? See it as learning that gets them and leads them towards the goal they're trying to achieve. They're comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? So I say here, comfortable with discomfort, because moving outside of your comfort zone, trying new things and going after really big goals and dreams is going to feel awful at times. And the third thing is that they believe strongly in possibility, right? They believe it's possible that they can achieve what they want to achieve. And so all of these three things equal commitment. So the ability to commit to whatever it is that they set their sights on and to never give up. So the only difference between people that are extremely successful and someone that doesn't make it, right? Doesn't achieve their goal or dream, is that one person gave up and the other didn't. So the question to answer is, how do I learn to embrace failure, get comfortable with discomfort, believe in possibility, so that I can maintain a level of commitment that is required for the long game, right? For achieving a really big goal. How you learn to do this is really simple, but not easy. And you'll hear me say that often when I do these trainings. So you want to learn to manage what I call, and has been coined by my mentor and teacher, Brooke Castillo, your primitive brain, right? And the main purpose of your primitive brain is to keep you alive. It's to keep you safe. Okay, so it does this by focusing on three main motivations, which are to avoid pain, seek pleasure, and conserve energy. Okay, this is called the motivational triad, and your brain is always working towards these things. And based on this triad, your brain views things that you've never done before, right? So a really big goal or achievement that you want to have in your life, it views that as very dangerous to you. Why? Because to the primitive brain, new things equal death. And this is because, one, they require energy. And we've already said that the brain wants to conserve energy. It wants to conserve that energy for things like hunting, right? Finding food, having sex, and warding off predators, because those things equaled survival, especially back in the caveman days, right? The second reason it views doing new things as death is because when we do new things, we always are risking rejection and failure. Okay. And back in the caveman days, we operated in small clans or small tribes, right? And if you were rejected from that clan, if they didn't like you or they didn't see your value, if you failed at doing whatever task it was that you were outlined to do, you were likely to die, right? You could not be rejected from your clan and survive on your own. That really wasn't possible back in the caveman days. And our brain has not evolved. Okay, it hasn't evolved to the modern world where we are generally quite safe, where we no longer need to be part of a clan to survive, right? We can survive quite happily and healthy. We can survive on our own, right? So we don't require a clan. And so the brain is going to kick into this kind of fight or flight mode whenever we're doing something that it sees as requiring energy, as being difficult, and that could risk rejection or failure. Okay. The thing is, what we want to become aware of is noticing when our brain is doing this, right? And noticing when it is required, which is, like when you're being followed in a dark alley, and when it's not, right? So the idea is that when you're trying to do something that you've never done before, that feels really hard, almost impossible, right? Your dream is to become a TV host, or maybe it is to own your own business and make 7 figures. It's going to feel in your body like it might kill you. Okay, but it's not going to. Your brain just doesn't know that. It just feels like it will. So how you can use your primitive brain to be successful? How do you use it, right? To embrace the failure and get comfortable with discomfort, believe in possibility, and stay committed. Okay, so let's talk about this one at a time. So in terms of embracing failure, again, the primitive brain will want you to see failure as death, okay? But it's actually the complete opposite. It's so interesting, right? Failure is the way, right? It's the way to success. So the first solution, if you will, is to redirect the brain to reframe failure as learning, right? And it is also proof that you're on the right track, right? Because if you're not failing, it likely means you're not taking action, especially in the beginning when we really don't know what we're doing, right? So that's the first thing. Just reframe failure as the only way to success, right? And that it means we're on the right track. And then start to ask yourself certain questions that can help you gain insight. So the first one would be like, ask yourself, what if I fail? What then? Right? Write out that worst case scenario. Write it out. Put it somewhere, like keep it in your computer or in your phone, somewhere where you can access it, and start to plan your solution to that scenario. Okay? Because then when it comes up for you, when it comes up for your brain, like, what if I fail? What then? You can be like, we got this. We've got a plan, right? Let's go check that plan out. If we need to, we can add to it, we can adjust it, but we've got a plan. The second thing is ask yourself, what am I making failure mean about me as a person? Okay, so most of us make failure mean we are a bad person, or maybe a better way of putting it is less worthy, right? We're not good at something. And so that thought will make us feel pretty hopeless, pretty, down in the dumps, and probably result in us not taking any more action. Okay, so then you want to start thinking about what you want to make failure mean about you, instead of that you're a bad person, or instead of like, I suck, or I can't do this. What if you made it a badge of honor, right? What if failure is your way of learning? It's everyone's way of learning, right? And figuring out how to get there. And so acknowledging that without failure, there is no growth, right? And so the more you fail, the closer you are to finding out the how, right? To figuring out how you get to your goal. The second part is getting comfortable with discomfort. And I put in brackets there, the right kind of discomfort. And I'm going to explain this. So the primitive brain loves, loves, loves comfort, right? Anything that's easy and familiar, it's going to reward you for those things. It will reward you for choosing comfort a lot of times by giving you a hit of dopamine, right? In the long run, though, this does us a disservice, right? So I talk about choosing your discomfort. And what I mean by that is, if you stay stuck, right? If you stay where you are right now, rather than moving towards where you want to go, you will feel potentially unfulfilled, not aligned to your true purpose. And that is a type of discomfort, right? So you're already feeling discomfort. If you decide to go towards your goal, you will also feel discomfort, right? That discomfort of moving out of your comfort zone. We all know what it feels like. It's terrifying. But so I want to challenge you to really choose which one you want to have. And either one is okay, but just be honest with yourself, right? Just say, I am choosing the discomfort of being stuck because I like to be where it's easy and familiar. Or I am choosing the discomfort of growth, right? Of learning, of failing, so that I can become like the highest, most evolved version of myself in trying to achieve whatever goal it is you're looking to achieve. Successful people know this. They know this. They know there's discomfort on either side, and they choose the discomfort of growth. Okay, the third one, believe in possibility. So the primitive brain hates possibility. So loves comfort, hates possibility, because it takes you outside of your comfort zone and into a place of, I don't know. And I don't know is very, very dangerous for the brain. The greatest mistake here is believing the primitive brain, right? Is believing that I don't know or doing something new is dangerous. Okay. Instead, learn, and I'm pausing as I say this because I'm realizing that when I tell you what to do here, it's going to seem vague, I think, to most of you, but I'm going to go there, and then I'll see if I need to add more detail. Learn to tap into your authentic voice. Okay. So now what I mean about that is, The primitive brain, you will know when it's the one voicing its opinion because it is always based in fear, right? So it always wants you to stay comfortable. It will always try to talk you out of things because you might be rejected, you might fail, people might not like you. What if it doesn't work out? All of these questions are always the primitive brain. Always. They're never your authentic voice. Your authentic voice doesn't have fear. Okay, it believes, remember, impossibility. So you want to tap into that voice. That voice will feel exciting to you. Okay, it's the one that is full of wonder, open to possibility, and kind of like, what if we could do that? It's driven by passion and desire, right? So you can actually bring this voice to surface by asking questions like, if I knew that things were going to work out no matter what would I do? Right? What would I choose? If fear wasn't an option, what would I do? These types of questions, if you get really honest, will bring that authentic voice up to the surface, because right now, for most of us, it's quiet. It's pretty quiet, right? And the primitive brain is much more powerful, and we really believe the stories of the primitive brain. Okay. But in order to achieve your dreams, you must start to believe in possibility. You must start to tap into what you really want. Okay. When you do these things, right, you are able then to commit fully to achieving your goal. You are able to, you're willing to fail, right? You're willing to fail. You're willing to be uncomfortable. You're willing to be in discomfort. And you believe in the possibility. And so you are capable of remaining committed to that goal, like I said, for the long term. Okay. When we are willing to embrace failure, when we are willing to fail, but we have the commitment to never give up, that is what makes someone successful. Okay. You hear it all the time, right? In Hollywood, it's like I was going, and I hit this moment where I just really wanted to quit. I really wanted to give up. But I kept going, and 3 weeks later, I signed the movie that made me a huge star, right? It is being able to stay in the game. And this is how you do it. Embrace failure, get comfortable with discomfort, and believe in possibility. Okay, so before we close out, I just want to give some reminders. Failure is required, right? Discomfort is inevitable. No matter what side you sit on, the side you're on where you're comfortable and things are easy and familiar. And actually, like, I just want to say, probably pretty good. This side doesn't equal like horrible and miserable. You're probably pretty happy over here. There's a discomfort there because there is no growth happening and you're not moving towards what it is you want. So choose wisely. Possibility, remember, comes from your authentic self, never the primitive brain. So start to practice when you notice that primitive brain and try to engage with your authentic self instead to determine what it is you really want and what you believe is possible. Most importantly, I want you to take away from today that there is nothing wrong with you. So all of these thoughts that you've been having that are telling you you cannot do this thing, just very normal. And when I coach with women, one of the things that I make sure they understand is we're never really getting rid of that voice. That is a biological requirement, right? The brain needs to be able to identify when we are in danger. Right now, it cannot categorize, like it can't tell the difference between trying something new and being chased, in a dark alley with a knife. So we need to be the ones, right? Our authentic self needs to go, oh, this is not a moment when I need to pay attention to this primitive brain that wants to keep me safe. Okay, so what you can say to yourself in those moments is, my brain is doing exactly what it should. Okay, just acknowledge that you're human, keep on moving, go for your goals. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. You can reach me at Lindsay@lindsayhume.com. That's my email address. And I'd love to hear from you. And anybody that attends this session or watches the replay, I want you to let me know that you watched it. I want you to email me and share your questions, share your insights, and I will gift you a powerful coaching opportunity to walk you through one issue that you can start fixing today. Okay, so I'm going to just stop sharing while there we go. Next masterclass, next Thursday. I forget offhand if it's going to be, I think it's going to be at 11 a.m. again, but I will post on Facebook, Instagram, and if you're on my email list, you will be getting that as well. So I hope to see you next week. Have a great week, and we'll talk soon.